The steel collar on Elena's neck is an active restraint. 42 internal needles press into her carotid artery. They are not sharp. They are invasive. Marcus stands behind her with a glass of 50-year-old scotch. He is a thief in a bespoke suit. The ballroom is full of predators. These are the directors of the Dragon Gold Bank. They watch Elena. They do not see a woman. They see a biological key required to open the vault. Marcus leans down. He places a digital tablet on Elena's lap. The weight of the device is a threat. Sign the transfer, Elena, Marcus says. His breath is hot on her skin. Transfer the bloodline rights to my personal holding company, or I turn the suppression to maximum. Elena looks at her hands. Her fingers are purple. The blood in her veins is trapped by the magnetic field of the collar. Marcus presses a button on his remote. A surge of electricity hits Elena's spine. Her body jerks. The champagne in the glasses of the guests does not move. The cruelty is private. It is efficient. This bank is built on my pulse, Marcus, Elena says. Her voice is a rasp. You stole my blood to power your artificial heart. You are a parasite. Marcus laughs. He kicks the leg of her chair. The sound of snapping wood is a sharp crack in the silent room. I am the CEO. You are the hardware. That is the only data that matters. Sign. Marcus grinds his leather heel into Elena's foot. He does not use a metaphor. He uses physical pressure. The bones in her toes grate together. The sound is muffled by the thick carpet. The shareholders sip their wine. They are counting their dividends. One director leans forward. Just sign it, girl. We need the vault opened for the audit. Your personal drama is wasting our time. The room is a vacuum of empathy. Marcus raises the remote again. He is enjoying the power. He is a social climber who has reached the top and wants to stay there. The heavy mahogany doors of the ballroom cease to exist. A wave of physical force turns the wood into splinters. Caspian walks into the hall. He does not walk. He claims the territory. He is the alpha of the wolf pack. He is the hidden shadow of the bank. Every security guard in the room freezes. Their internal systems are failing. Caspian's resonance is a physical wall. He stops 10 feet from Marcus. His eyes are gold. They are not a color. They are a weapon. Get your foot off her, Caspian says. The command is not a suggestion. It is a law. Marcus tries to sneer. He fails. His bionic lip twitches. Do you know who I am? Marcus shouts. His voice is high and thin. I am the acting CEO of Dragon Gold. Caspian moves. He is not fast. He is instant. He reaches Marcus in a single heartbeat. He does not punch. He grabs Marcus by the throat. He lifts the thief off the floor with one hand. The sound of Marcus's bionic neck joints screaming is the only music in the room. Caspian looks at the remote in Marcus's hand. He takes it. He crushes the device with his palm. The electricity in Elena's collar vanishes. The silence is a gift. Caspian drops Marcus. The villain hits the marble floor. He is a heap of expensive fabric and failing tech. Caspian kneels beside Elena. He does not ask if she is hurt. He knows. He places his large hand on the back of her neck. His skin is hot. The touch is a biological furnace. The energy flows from his palm into her veins. It is the cure. Elena breathes. The air is clean. Caspian grips the steel collar. He does not use a key. He uses raw resonance. The metal groans. The snapping of the 42 needles is a series of gunshots. The collar falls to the floor in 2 pieces. It is trash. Elena stands up. She is taller than Marcus now. Caspian keeps his arm around her waist. His protection is a physical barrier. He looks at the shareholders. Which of you approved the purchase of this device? He asks. No one speaks. The directors look at their shoes. They are cowards in silk ties. Marcus crawls toward his guards. His voice box is damaged. It makes a clicking sound. Kill him, Marcus screams. The guards do not move. They are looking at Caspian. They are looking at their true king. Caspian releases a pulse of resonance. It is a wave of pure authority. The guards hit the wall. Their stun batons explode. Their visors shatter. They are broken toys. Caspian looks back at Marcus. "You are a software error, Marcus," he says. "And I am the delete key." He pulls Elena closer. His heartbeat is a steady drum against her side. She feels the power returning to her wrists. The golden veins under her skin begin to glow. The bank is reacting to her presence. The chandeliers above flicker. The crystals in the vault below are waking up. Marcus realizes he is losing control. He screams at the technician in the corner. "Lock the vault. Delete her access." The technician shakes his head. The system does not recognize Marcus anymore. The Alpha is in the room. The second layer of the nightmare begins now. The elevator descends 60 floors into the granite foundation of the Dragon Gold Bank. Marcus leans against the steel wall. He is sweating black hydraulic oil. He adjusts his tie with a shaking hand. He looks at the board of directors. "Gentlemen," Marcus says. His voice box produces a static hiss. "Ignore the incident in the ballroom. A girl in a collar is a temporary variable. The vault is the only constant. $100 trillion in bloodline assets are behind that door. I hold the authorization." He reaches into his jacket and swallows 3 white pills. They are stabilizers for his failing artificial heart. One director looks at Marcus's twitching fingers. "You look like a man losing his connection, Marcus," the director says. Marcus sneers. He slams his palm against the elevator panel. "I am the man who signs your paychecks. I am the CEO. Elena is a biological component. You do not thank the key for opening the lock. You thank the hand that turns it." He turns to Elena. She is standing next to Caspian. Caspian's hand is on her lower back. The heat from his palm is a constant surge of energy. He is the cure for her 3 years of freezing suppression. Marcus looks at Caspian. "You are a mercenary in a bespoke suit," Marcus says. "You think breaking a few guards changes the ledger? This bank runs on bloodline resonance. My blood is the signature. Elena is the ink. I will use her until the ink runs dry. Then I will recycle the hardware." He smiles. His porcelain teeth are too white. "They are fake. Just like your heart, Marcus," Elena says. Her voice is a cold blade. "You stole my pulse for 3 years. You used a machine to mimic my frequency. But a machine cannot hold the vault. A machine is just an object." The elevator doors open to the great vault. The room is a massive square of black obsidian. In the center sits the prime crystal. It is a jagged stone emitting amber radiation. This is the heart of the global economy. Marcus walks toward the scanner. He is desperate. He is a social climber who has reached the ceiling and found no air. He looks at the directors. "Watch the screen," he says. He places his synthetic hand on the glass sensor. The machine hums. It is searching for a genetic match. Access denied. The computer voice is flat. The red light of the scanner reflects in Marcus's artificial eyes. Marcus hits the glass with his fist. The sound of metal hitting glass is a sharp crack. It is a calibration error. He screams. He turns to the head technician. "Fix the sensor, or I will have your credentials deleted by midnight." The technician does not move. He is looking at Caspian. He is looking at the man who owns the air in the room. Caspian moves his hand from Elena's waist to her hand. He intertwines his fingers with hers. The contact is an electrical fuse. It is a biological merger. He leads her toward the crystal. The directors back away. They feel the resonance in their lungs. It is a physical pressure. Caspian looks at the chairman. "Your CEO is a ghost," Caspian says. "He is a malfunction in a suit." Caspian does not yell. He does not need to. He owns the space because he owns the resonance. Elena reaches for the prime crystal. She does not touch the stone. She touches the energy in the air. She closes her eyes. She withdraws the stabilization. She takes back the 3 years of blood she lent to the bank. The amber light in the crystal dies. It turns into a violent purple fire. The ground shakes with a tectonic force. The vault door groans. The gears inside are the size of truck tires. They turn with a heavy grinding sound. Marcus screams. He clutches his chest. The stolen bloodline energy in his artificial heart is reacting to the purple fire. The energy is a poison now. It rejects the parasite. Marcus falls to his knees. The sound of his bionic legs snapping is the sound of a dry branch breaking. He is a heap of expensive fabric and failing tech. He gasps for air. His mechanical lungs produce gray smoke. The smell of burning plastic fills the vault. It is the smell of his failure. The chairman of the board looks at his tablet. Marcus's ownership stake is dropping. It is a countdown to 0. The numbers move fast. 10%, 5%, 0. The digital ledger is a waterfall of loss. Every asset Marcus owns is tied to the bank's resonance. Without the bloodline, he is a beggar. His houses are being repossessed by the system. His cars are being locked in their garages. His legal name is being flagged as a fraudulent identity. Elena stands over him. She is the master. He is the trash. "You called me a battery, Marcus," she says. "A battery can be replaced, but a sun can burn everything you built." She turns to the directors. "I am the bank. My blood is the gold. If you want your dividends, you will follow me." The directors do not hesitate. They turn their backs on Marcus. They are scavengers. They follow the predator. Caspian pulls Elena into a hard embrace. He pins her against the obsidian wall. His grip on her waist is aggressive. He looks at the broken man on the floor. "Tomorrow, Marcus will not exist," Caspian says. His voice is a growl. "Tomorrow he will be a memory in a waste pipe." He leans down and kisses Elena's neck. His lips are hot against the red marks from the metal collar. The pain is gone. There is only the power. There is only the win. Marcus tries to crawl toward the door. His synthetic eye flickers and goes black. He is losing his sight. He is losing his world. He reaches for a director's leg. The director kicks him away. The betrayal is total. Marcus is a ghost in a room full of gold. He realized his mistake. He thought he could own the dragon, but the dragon was always the one who held the key. The second layer of his erasure is complete. The Dragon Mother walks into the vault. She is the final authority of the Dragon Gold Bank. Her dress is made of woven gold threads. She does not look at the treasure. She looks at the man on the floor. Every director puts their forehead on the cold gold floor. Marcus tries to stand. His mechanical knee joints produce a high-pitched scream of metal on metal. He pulls a digital file from his jacket. Elena signed the transfer. Marcus gasps. "I am the legal owner of this bank." The Dragon Mother touches the device. The screen turns into white dust in Marcus's hand. "A signature from a thief has no value," she says. Her voice is a physical weight in the room. "You are a ghost, Marcus. You have no name in my ledger." Marcus points a trembling finger at Elena. "She is my accomplice," he shouts. His voice box is full of static. "She gave me her blood for 3 years. If I am a criminal, then she is the source." He tries to drag her into his grave. This is the only weapon he has left. Caspian moves in front of Elena. He is a wall of muscle. He releases a pulse of resonance from his chest. It is a physical hammer. Marcus hits the obsidian wall with a heavy thud. His bionic ribs snap into 5 pieces. This is the answer to his lies. Caspian turns his back on the villain. He pulls Elena against his side. He places his hand on the red marks on her neck. His skin is a furnace. The pain from the collar vanishes in the heat. "You are the architect of this empire," Caspian whispers. His heart beats against her shoulder in a steady rhythm. The protection is absolute. The Dragon Mother looks at the technician. "Activate the identity void protocol," she says. The command is a death sentence. The technician hits a sequence of keys. On the wall, the digital history of Marcus begins to burn. His birth certificate is flagged as a fraud. His university degrees are deleted. His passport is deactivated. In the eyes of the law, Marcus is no longer a human being. He is an unregistered biological hazard. Marcus watches the screen. His synthetic eyes flicker and go dark. He is losing his sight. He is losing his world. He reaches for a director's shoe to beg. The director kicks him in the face. The betrayal is total. Marcus is a ghost in a room full of gold. The dragon mother raises her hand. I declare this creature a bloodline parasite, she says. Every asset he touched is now reclaimed by the bank. Marcus sweats a thick black hydraulic fluid. It smells like a garage. His skin is peeling away from his metal frame in gray strips. He is a malfunctioning machine in a room of gods. The security guards move forward. They do not use handcuffs. They grab Marcus by his mechanical shoulders. Marcus tries to punch a guard. His bionic fist shatters on the guard's chest armor. The guard does not move. Marcus is a stranger in his own building. He is being treated like a broken printer. Caspian moves his hand to Elena's waist. He pulls her so close they breathe the same air. He looks at the board of directors. The bank is under new management, he says. His voice is a low growl that makes the gold coins in the crates vibrate. You will sign your resignation now. You will leave this building with 0 credits. The directors do not argue. They have seen the ash in Marcus's hand. They scramble for their tablets. Their signatures are recorded in the blockchain. The ownership of the Dragon Gold Bank shifts to Elena. The power moves from the thieves to the source. Elena looks at Marcus. He is being dragged toward the airlock. She does not feel pity. She feels the silence of a debt being paid in full. You called me a battery, Marcus, she says. A battery can be replaced, but a sun can burn everything you built. She turns her back on him. The sound of her heels on the marble is the sound of a closing door. The first layer of his erasure is complete. He is no longer a CEO. He is an unregistered object. The technician hits the final key. The status of Marcus changes to deleted. This is the social erasure. In the city above the vault, Marcus's penthouse doors lock. His cars stop in the middle of the highway. His credit cards melt in the machines. He is being scrubbed from the planet. Marcus feels the air leaving his lungs. His oxygen supply is tied to his bank balance. He is suffocating in a room full of oxygen. He looks at Elena. She is the only thing he can see. She is the master, and he is the shadow. The airlock doors hiss open. The smell of cold metal comes out. Marcus is pushed inside. He hits the steel floor. The light in the airlock is a cold blue. He is alone. The guards press the button. The high-frequency vibration starts. Marcus looks at his hands. They are turning into smoke. Caspian leads Elena toward the throne. He does not let go of her waist. He wants everyone to see his claim. He stops in front of the Dragon Mother. She nods to him. The transition is complete. The vault is silent. The only sound is the heavy pulse of the prime crystal. It is the sound of Elena's heart. She sits on the throne. The gold is warm. The bank recognizes her blood. She is the law. The third batch of the nightmare is over. Marcus is a pile of gray dust in a waste pipe. The parasite is gone. Elena sits on the throne of solid dragon gold. The metal is warm. It is the heat of her own biological signature. The prime crystal behind her pulses in a deep violet light. The vibration is a heavy thud in the floor. Caspian stands behind her. His hands rest on her shoulders. He is a wall of physical authority. He looks at the remaining directors. They are old men in wool suits. They are shivering. They hold their tablets with white fingers. They are waiting for a sentence. Elena looks at the chairman. You funded the inhibitor project, she says. Her voice is a sharp blade. You paid for the needles in my neck. The chairman tries to stand. His voice is a thin reed. We were protecting the bank's stability. Elena, Marcus had the encryption codes. We had no choice. He is trying to negotiate with a god. Elena does not blink. Caspian leans forward. He does not yell. He releases a low-frequency resonance from his chest. The chairman's tablet shatters in his hand. The glass cuts his palm. Red blood drips onto the gold floor. Negotiation is a luxury for humans. Caspian says, you are line items in a ledger, and I am clearing the debt. Elena taps the console on the throne. A holographic screen appears. It lists the private assets of every man in the room. Real estate in Geneva, offshore accounts in the Caymans, insurance bonds, jewelry. She swipes her finger across the air. Execute the zero balance protocol, she says. The command is a final bell. The technician hits the key. On the wall, the numbers fly. 100 million becomes zero. 10 million becomes zero. The directors watch their lives vanish. Their personal credit cards melt in their pockets. Their legal identities are flagged as fraudulent. One director screams. He runs for the elevator. Caspian moves. He is instant. He does not punch. He grabs the man by the throat. He lifts the director off the floor with one hand. You spent 10 years draining her pulse, Caspian says. His voice is a growl against the man's ear. Now you will spend the rest of your life as a ghost. Caspian tosses the man toward the security guards. The guards do not use handcuffs. They use heavy plastic zips. They pull the directors toward the service exit. These men will leave this building with nothing. Their faces will not be recognized by their own smart locks. They are deleted. The vault is empty now. Only the Dragon Mother and Caspian remain. The Dragon Mother nods to Elena. The transition is complete. The golden veins in Elena's wrists are a steady glow. She is no longer a battery. She is the generator. She is the bank. She feels the power of the wolf behind her. Caspian pulls Elena up from the throne. He pins her against the gold back of the chair. His grip on her waist is tight. It is aggressive. He does not use a metaphor. He uses his physical weight. He leans down, and his breath is a hot pulse on her neck. The bank is yours, he says. His voice is a vibration in her chest. But you are mine. He does not ask for permission. He is the alpha. He is the protector. He kisses the red marks on her throat. His lips are rough. They are warm. The heat from his body flows into hers. It is a biological fusion. The sexual tension is a physical force. It makes the air thick. Elena reaches for the collar of his suit. She pulls him closer. She can feel the raw power in his muscles. The power of the wolf is hers to command. The city of London glows outside the vault. Millions of people are using the bank's currency. They have no idea that the master has changed. They have no idea that the blood in the vault is new. Elena looks at the prime crystal. It is a steady heart of purple fire. The parasite is dust. The thieves are ghosts. The architect is on the throne. Caspian locks the vault doors with a thought. The heavy obsidian slabs seal shut. The sound is a mountain closing. The silence is absolute. Elena grips Caspian's shoulders. The gold is warm. The win is total. The future is a clean ledger. The final audit is over.
Watching Marcus dissolve into 3-cent industrial dust is the most brutal social erasure I've ever witnessed. There is truly nothing more satisfying than seeing a fake god become part of the pavement. But tell me, if you had the chance to trade your pulse for absolute control over the world's gold, would you actually say no? Or are we all just monsters in waiting? Between you and me, I spent far too long researching the exact market price of industrial waste just to ensure Marcus's final value felt as cheap as his soul.